At Jumbo Burger, when you say hypersize it, you get our biggest burger. Over 3 pounds of USDA Grade B processed hamburger meat product. Our colossal fries cooked with enough oil to supply the city of Cincinnati with energy for over 3 days. And our gallon gulper. Not 1, but 2 gallons of super sweet, super delicious soda. 'Cause at Jumbo Burger, we guarantee it's more than you can eat.
Welcome to Jumbo Burger. Can I take your order?
Yeah, I'd like 2 jumbo burgers, a large fry, and root beer.
And I'll have the jumbo burger with colossal fries and the gallon gulper.
Would you like to hypersize your orders for just 38 cents?
Oh, hypersize me, yeah!
Yeah, hypersize them both.
Hello and welcome to Jumbo Burger. Have your 3 jumbo burgers, your colossal fries, and 2 gallon gulpers. Thank you guys very much. Take care. Thanks for coming to Jumbo Burger.
Could I make this a diet drink?
We all know that fast food restaurants offer extra-sized meals that seem like a real bargain. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself if you actually need all that food?
Fast food is not the healthiest thing to eat in the first place. It can be super high in calories and fat. And the way we eat fast food now is literally killing us. Our bodies are becoming supersized, just like the food portions, and that's no good.
But you can avoid supersizing yourself by getting your portions under control.
Americans are getting bigger. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 64% of adults in the US are overweight, and 40 million Americans are classified as obese. Is that serious? It's huge.
Healthy bodies come in all different shapes and sizes. But there is a definition of obesity, and that is based on something called the body mass index. The formula for the body mass index is your weight divided by your height squared. And that's your weight in kilograms divided by your height in meters squared. So you come up with this number, and if the number is 25 to 29, it's considered overweight. If it's 30 or above, it's considered obese.
Obesity is now the second leading preventable cause of death in this country. If the trend continues, obesity will surpass tobacco to become the #1 preventable killer, worse than tobacco. Obese people have a higher risk for serious illnesses like diabetes, heart disease, cancer, and high blood pressure. And these numbers are going up too.
This isn't just an adult problem. From the 1960s, when researchers first began keeping track, until the 1980s, about 5% of US teens were overweight. But after 1980, that percentage started to go up. Now there are 3 times as many overweight teens.
If you're a teen and overweight, your health and probably your social life are already suffering. You know those extra pounds make it hard to perform in sports and other physical activities. They can also make you feel that you don't fit in, that you don't look or feel as good as you want to.
When you're overweight, there's some really negative effects. One is that you can't keep up with your friends. You may run out of breath, or you can't run as fast as they do. You just can't keep up with the same things that they're doing.
So if being overweight has so many downsides, how come so many of us end up that way?
A lot of times it's just easier just to grab something and go with it.
A lot of people aren't getting enough exercise.
People don't have a lot of education from their parents about how to eat right.
If you look in the vending machines at our school, it's like chips and candy.
Junk food, chips.
Portions are becoming larger just in general.
They go home on the computer on AIM or email or surfing the web.
Well, I think what it comes down to is that people just eat too much.
All good reasons, but that last one really says it all. Teens today are just eating too much. In the 1980s, restaurants and food companies started supersizing their offerings, and we started eating more. Believe it or not, portions weren't always this big.
In the 1950s, a normal portion of French fries was 2.5 ounces, 217 calories. Today, that's the size of a small order. Now, most fast food meals come with a large order at 6 ounces and a whopping 517 calories. That's 2.5 times as many calories.
Back in the 1950s, a typical size for a soft drink was 7 ounces. That's 84 calories. Today, even the child's size is 12 ounces and 144 calories. A large is 32 ounces and 388 calories. The double gulp soft drink at 64 ounces delivers almost 800 calories.
In the past 30 years, a typical cheeseburger has gone from 5.8 ounces and 397 calories to 7.3 ounces and 533 calories. A burger, fries, and soft drink you buy today can load on 1,100 more calories than the same meal did 50 years ago. More than 2.5 times as many calories.
And it's not only fast food places. Most restaurants are using bigger plates and bigger portions and bigger cups even. Bakers are using bigger muffin tins. Pizzerias, bigger pizza pans. Cookbook recipes make larger portions too. Even at home, people are making larger portions. We're obsessed. Everything's got to be big, bigger, biggest.
So, eat too much, don't exercise. Put those two together and you're going to gain weight.
What's a calorie?
Something's in the food.
I have no idea.
Something that gets you fat.
Not really sure like what it is, but I know people try to watch their calories.
I don't know. You eat food to take energy in, and you burn up the energy when you exercise. The energy in food is measured in calories, and if you eat more calories than you use, you gain weight. It's really that simple.
To maintain a healthy balance and proper weight, you don't need to count every calorie or eat only at certain times of the day or avoid entire food groups. For most of us, just learning what reasonable portions look like can help put us on the right path.
We're going to show you a few easy methods anyone can use to control your portions whenever you sit down to eat. First, think for a second. Where is all that food you eat going? Ever wonder what your stomach looks like? Well, about like this. Each person's stomach, of course, is a different size depending on your body type.
Okay. Totally empty, the average stomach is about as big as this much juice. A volume of about 50 milliliters. Not much, is it? We put much more than that into our stomachs at every meal. Our stomachs are built to expand and keep expanding. So you'll have to pay attention to how full you feel so you'll know when to quit.
And now, from the leader in eating a fair and balanced diet, it's Food News. News about food.
How many hot dogs do you think you could eat in 12 minutes?
20.
2 or 3.
5.
3.
4.
3.
2.
12. 5.
This is the reigning hot dog eating champ, Takeru Kobayashi. He's on his way to setting a new world record. 53.5 hot dogs. That's 8 pounds in 12 minutes. And he probably doesn't feel full yet.
It takes about 20 minutes for food to pass from the stomach into the small intestine. Only then is a hormone called cholecystokinin, or CCK, released. CCK, along with other hormones, signals the brain that I'm full. But that's 20 minutes after you've eaten something. Probably 20 minutes of shoveling in more food. Not good.
One of the problems these days is that most of us don't listen to our bodies and stop eating when we've had enough. And it's a little bit tricky because you need to eat a little bit slowly in order to recognize that point, because it takes 20 minutes for your stomach to tell your brain that it's had enough. So what you want to do is take some food, eat slowly, enjoy yourself, and listen, when you've had enough, stop eating. Don't eat just because it tastes good or just because it's there or for all of the other reasons that we eat. Stop eating when you're satisfied.
So here's method number 2. Take a reasonable sized portion when you start a meal and eat it slowly. Then wait 20 minutes before you load up with seconds. Pay attention to your body. You just might find that you're no longer hungry.
You do know what a reasonable portion looks like, don't you?
No.
No.
I have no idea.
I thought maybe you didn't. But you're in luck. You carry some portion measuring tools with you all the time. They look like this. No, I'm not holding anything. We're talking about your hands. You can use your hands to illustrate the right portion size for many foods. Make a fist and take a look at it. An average size fist is about the size of 1 cup. Half a fist, half a cup. And half a cup, half a fist, is a good size for
A portion of pasta,
or rice,
or mashed potatoes,
or cooked vegetables. Although some experts say it's okay to eat all the vegetables you want.
or beans or legumes. A great meat substitute, by the way. It's about the size of a serving of breakfast cereal.
Or if you like other kinds of grains, like tabbouleh or kasha, half a fist is about a serving of them too.
But just one thing about those grain and pasta portions. They'll be a lot healthier if you eat whole grains instead of refined. That means brown rice instead of white, whole wheat bread instead of white, whole grain cereal. But you already knew about this, right? If you didn't, check it out. Whole grains are always the best way to go.
Now look at your whole fist. That's about a cup, a portion of milk or juice, cut up or canned fruit, or raw vegetables.
Okay, get out your portion measuring tool again. This time we're just looking at the palm. I mean just the palm, no fingers. Use the size of your palm and the thickness of your palm to measure the right portion size for a portion of meat,
Or fish,
a burger, just a burger. We'll get to the cheese and bun in a minute.
a skinless chicken breast. You do take off the skin, right?
A pork chop,
Thanksgiving turkey,
ham,
a salmon steak,
or a beef steak,
meatloaf.
flounder fillets.
Well, you get the idea. A proper portion of almost any meat, poultry, or fish is about the size of your palm. Next tool, your thumb. Your whole thumb is a portion of cheese or peanut butter. Just the tip of your thumb is a portion of butter or margarine.
Some things come to the table one by one. You don't measure them, you count. For instance, a portion of bread is 1 slice. Does that mean this gigantic bagel is 1 portion? Dream on. A portion is the size of a slice from an average loaf of bread. This bagel's about 4 portions. Does that mean you shouldn't eat the bagel? Not at all. You just have to remember it counts as 4 portions, not 1. Enjoy the bagel, but cut out a couple of portions of bread later in the day. Same idea with fruit, like oranges and apples. Or pears or peaches. 1 portion is the size of a tennis ball. Got something bigger? Like this papaya? Wow, that must be at least 2 portions.
Okay, so now you know how to measure a portion using your handy portion measuring tool. The next question is, how many portions should you eat? And portions of what? Well, that depends.
There are a few tricks to help you eat less. One is when you're snacking, don't eat out of the bag or container. Take a plate or a dish and put some of the snack food on the plate or dish, eat it, and go back for more if you want more. Also, when you're buying food in a deli or at a restaurant, get the smallest size possible. Chances are you'll feel satisfied and also eat less. And at dinner, instead of heaping the food on your plate with the first serving, take a small serving, enjoy your food, wait a few minutes, and then go back for more if you decide that you're still hungry.
Here's another way to look at portions. We call it plate geometry. It's a way to see how portions of different foods fit into a day's diet. First, imagine that your plate is divided into thirds. The first third of your plate should be filled with vegetables, almost any kind of vegetable. Make it colorful, then you'll be getting a good variety.
But any kind of vegetable doesn't include the starchy ones, like potatoes. They have their own part of the plate, the second third. It's the place for grains, pasta, and starches. Remember, a serving of grain or pasta is the size of a small fist. It will fit neatly in a third of the plate. And also, remember that whole grains are best.
And finally, the last third of the plate is for your protein portion. Meat, or fish, or poultry, or dairy foods like cottage cheese, or a tofu dish, or a couple of eggs.
And there you have it, plate geometry. It will help you remember the right size for your portions and the right proportions of each food group to keep you healthy.
Add a glass of milk or juice, some fruit, maybe a little dessert, and you've got a meal.
And speaking of meals, let's look at what a day of smart proportions would look like. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Start with breakfast. Whoa! I don't think that's going to make the cut, do you? This plate doesn't have either the right portions or the right proportions. It's out of here. These look a little better. How much you need to eat depends on how much energy you expend during the day. A 6'5" basketball player obviously needs to eat more than, say, a 5'6" couch potato. But let's be honest here. Are you really a 6'5" athlete? What's your appetite really telling you?
So, on to lunch. If you think this is an example of a good lunch, you really haven't been paying attention, have you? The calories in this lunch equal the entire daily requirements of your basic 5'6" couch potato. If you have to get your lunch at a fast food place, try this instead. A portion-sized burger and a piece of fruit, or a salad. Or try a fish sandwich, or a grilled chicken sandwich. Or skip the sandwich altogether and get a grilled chicken salad. Some places offer sandwiches with the right proportions built in. A sub with turkey and vegetables, for instance. If we take this sandwich apart and arrange it on our geometry plate, we end up with the right portions in all 3/3. Cool.
Okay, it's dinner time. I'm sure you get the idea by now. No problem eating these foods. But get portions into proportion. Remember your plate geometry. Even better would be a low-fat protein, like fish or skinless chicken, and of course vegetables, lots of vegetables. Some experts say eat all the vegetables you want.
Don't forget to have some fruit. A portion of fruit 2 or 3 times a day is a really good idea. A portion of fruit or vegetables makes a good snack too, as does a bowl of popcorn, without the butter of course. If you think about it, you'll probably come up with all kinds of snacks that are healthy and come in right-sized portions.
An apple or carrots.
Raw vegetables, I guess.
Baked chips can be better for you because they're less oily.
A hard-boiled egg.
Celery with peanut butter.
This is a special alert from Food News.
You can blow a whole day of good portions with one snack of the wrong foods in the wrong sizes. And one of the easiest places to do that is at the movie theater. Have you ever noticed the size of the popcorn you buy in a movie theater? Look at this. There are 21 cups of buttered popcorn in this bucket. That's about 1,600 calories. If you order it with extra butter, you're looking at 2,400 calories. That's a day's worth of calories for an active teenage boy.
And it doesn't include the 600-calorie soft drink or the 900-calorie box of candy you're taking into the movie. What are you thinking?
Probably that you won't eat all of it, right?
Wrong. Studies have shown that for most people, if it's in front of you, you're probably going to eat it. So the solution is to avoid ordering so much stuff to begin with. Take a bottle of water into the theater with you, instead of ordering a humongous soft drink. Or at least get a sugar-free drink. And if you just can't watch the movie without popcorn, get the smallest size, without butter, and share it.
So there you have it. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, the whole day. Not too bad after all, is it? Of course, this is an average day's diet. That 6'5" basketball player is going to have to eat more. And you 5'6" couch potatoes are going to have to, well, get up off the couch for starters, get a little exercise, then you can eat this much.
Let's talk for a minute about situations where you can't control how much food ends up on your plate. Like eating out at a restaurant where you might get really large portions whether you want them or not.
We'll show you some tips for controlling your portions no matter where you are. Buffalo chicken tenders, oyster bay crab cake, Wow, look at all these choices.
Well, and look at those sizes. What do we do now?
Tip number 1, read the menu. For instance, here's the Hungry Man special. Now that's going to be something to avoid. A double supersize? But on the other hand, we could order something from the lunch menu. Same meal, smaller sizes.
Or even an appetizer. Hey, look at those sizes. But what I really want is a grilled salmon steak. We could order one meal and split it. That's a lot of info. Think we got everything?
I think so. Let's take a quick review. If you want to stay lean, fit, and healthy, it's important to pay attention to portions. Think about your stomach. It's not that big, and it won't let you know how full it is until at least 20 minutes after you eat. So eat sensible portions and wait before you dig into seconds.
Use your hand as a tool for measuring portions. Half a fist is about the right size for a portion of pasta, grains, or starchy vegetables. And your whole fist is the right size of a portion of milk, juice, or raw vegetables. Your palm is a good measure for a portion of protein, meat, fish, and poultry. Use your thumb for cheese and just the tip of your thumb for butter.
One slice of bread is a portion. A portion of whole fruit, like apples or oranges, should be about the size of a tennis ball.
And use plate geometry to understand your portions in relation to food groups. Meat, starches or grains, and vegetables and fruits. Plenty of veggies.
Next, use our tips when you go out to eat. Order smaller sized meals, like lunch dishes or appetizers. Share a meal.
And of course, exercise.
Get your diet under control with portion control. You'll feel better for it.